exercise. And the fact that we're back again with Green Ghana.
I'm told that you have voters and money for it.
Me? Me?
Well.
Me? Voted money for what exactly?
The tree planting for the event itself too.
Wow.
I see. So tell me about it. I saw the headlines, but I didn't.
Well, I mean, the minister has been speaking on, the Green Ghana Day initiative. And of course, this will be the third time that we're going ahead to plant some trees under this new minister as well. And they've revised downwards the number of seedlings that we're going to plant. And that's because of the survival rate of some of the seedlings that were planted. And so because of that, we're not going to plant as many. Remember that we started with 5 million seedlings. And then eventually when they were done, they told us that because of the success rate, in fact, we planted more than the 5 million, at just about 7 million of them. And then last year, we were told that we're going to try and do some 20 million. That one too, they said they were able to exceed it. But in terms of survival rates, it hasn't been too great. So they're saying that so far, field assessment report shows that on the average, 72% of the seedlings survived last year as compared
70%.
to 72% of them survived as compared to 81% in 2021, which is why they're revising downwards, the number of trees that they're hoping to plant this time around to just about 10 million. My only worry is in the face of all this Galamsey expose and the fact that there are government officials who are involved, allegedly, in Galamsey and illegal mining activities as well. Why are we spending money to plant trees when we are not even able to preserve the ones that we have? So what are we doing? Are we planting so that another 20 years we come and cut down all those trees as well? You can see the effect that it's having in our forest reserves. These are places where we shouldn't be mining. And there are companies that have only been given prospecting licenses, and so they are not allowed to mine. They can only go and, create drill or just try to investigate and find out if they... Now, these companies, we're told, are going there to mine. And that's a major problem, because then the authorities that have the powers to ensure that these companies don't do that, what are they doing about it? We've sat down and allowed our forest reserves to go this bad, and now we're coming back to have a conversation about planting trees. I mean, it's all a ruse. Like, if you ask me, I really think that we're going around in circles and we're not really addressing the matter and cutting off the head of the snake as we should. And that's why we're here. And we're going to use taxpayers' monies to plant trees, buy seedlings, etc. And it looks like this will be just a cycle. We'll keep going on, and nobody would really do anything about it. So I'm really very concerned about it.
And I think consistently, the way you've put it is also very trite or apt. And it's about what preferences and attachment or commitment that government gives to its own projects. And if we say that governance is a continuum, for example, if we have Saglemi there, and before then we had the Boteman housing project by Kufuor, and subsequently the government after that, within the structures of the NDC, decided that we'll also put up another housing project alongside an older or existing one which had not been completed. And now we have Saglemis wasting away. And it's the same scenario. So we have a situation where, Berla, we have trees that are already grown, and we know that the longer years you have a tree on the ground, the better it is at the time you do the cultivation. But in the greater interest of what we tend to participate in at the UN summits, or the various climate change conferences, for which sometimes we even co-chair some of the various meetings, etc., is for the ecological protection of the environment.
Yeah.
We're now here saying that it is okay for individuals to go into those forests. And it's good that you pointed those things out. Why do you cut down existing trees that took years, sometimes decades, to grow? And then you are now going to formatively grow new ones. We have to ask ourselves the questions. I mean, is it prudent? Is that the best thing that we can do? How much are we spending on this one? Because I know that the old ones, the last two events, that would be 3 years ago, 2 years, or last year, we had concerns being raised by environmentalists about how much was involved in the whole project.
Well, we know that we spent about 12.8 million Ghana cedis in 2021 for the first one, and even that also caused it caused an uproar, because why are we spending all that money? It was revised downwards. Well, post-COVID, 12.8 million Ghana cedis. That's how much we spent planting 7 million trees. And then we revised it downwards in 2022 as well. And, you know, we're all asking questions that how come we're spending less to plant 20 million trees when we spent about 12.8 million? You know, there were all kinds of excuses that were given. And we're waiting for more details about this one in particular and exactly how much we're going to spend. Because, again, figures will start being bandied about. We'll wait for the minister to now come and say, no, it's not true, and etc., etc. I mean, what is the state of the 5 million trees? Is there evidence to point to the fact that these trees, if you're saying that 71 or 72% of them are actually doing well, where's the evidence that points to that? We need all those details as well. It's not enough to just come and tell us that survival rate is just 72%, but exactly where are these trees and what is the update on those ones? Because we know that maintenance for us as a culture is zero. So yes, we go ahead and do the PR and do all these things, but who really is there to ensure that these trees are being, or these seedlings are being nurtured so they can eventually grow into trees? It will take another decade for some of them. Would we all be alive to witness it? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
You know, that's the worry. But well, let's see what our politicians will have to say about some of these
the big
matters.
People, 2.5 million for current 500,000 for this year. Well, we'll wait for them as far as this is related. Kiddy has released his new song.
He has.
Yeah, very beautiful song.
You like it?
I think so. On second thoughts, having listened to it, that's the snippet. I haven't had the version fully played out. So, but I think it's a good comeback for him. He was not well. Comprehensively, you could see that that's period where he was going to have was he a tour or some number of shows, and they decided to call it off. So we have to say that it's good that he's back. He has this great music, so that's also a start. I initially thought that it was one of those things that musicians tend to do, try to do a build-up before. I don't know, but it looks like it.
Do we have the video? Maybe we can play because it dropped last night. So maybe we can take a look at this new one. We'll come back and talk some more.
If I tell you, say I'm okay, I like everything I feel in my heart and soul.
Okay.
So we have the audio that's supposed to play. It's having some difficulties, but he has this thing out, and I think that it's a booster also for his career, and we'll see how the market receives it. But it's always, I think we're going to have a lot of sympathy for him, if not empathy, because of the difficulties he announced he went through.
Yeah, it's quite worrying.
Yes.
It's quite worrying. Maybe it's just a wake-up call for all of us to take our health seriously, because a lot of us are lost in, you know, the search for success, self-actualization, and sometimes you lose yourself in the process. You're not taking care of yourself well, you're not eating well, you're not sleeping well. And we've seen what's even happened with Jamie Foxx. And the fact that due to stress, I mean, he was on set and he suffered aneurysm, I think that's what it's called, which is almost like a rupture of one of your arteries as well. So it's quite a scary thing. And I do hope that as Kiddy has released this one, which we're about to play for you, it will just remind us to all just take care of ourselves better. Take a look.